Alright, so you may have noticed in the middle of me weeding those, I realized that I put these two in the wrong color. So had to recut and reweed these two. They'll just have extra stickers with their names on it. So it should be wide enough, yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna get some transfer tape ready. There we go. I'm gonna start with this one. First you gotta decide what you want to be the top and what you want to be the bottom. I think I'm gonna stay this way. And one thing I really love about this, this is the Cricut adhesive, matte adhesive foil, is that it doesn't really stick to the backing. I've had with Oracle vinyl, which I love Oracle vinyl in general, but when you go to peel it off the transfer tape, it has a tendency sometimes to stick. So that's less than ideal. So, this is the part that I hate. So I'll probably fast forward through this part. Here we go. Sometimes it does not love to stick to the transfer tape. Ha ha ha! And then just kind of see where I want it to live. And there it is. Burnish it down really well because you don't want any epoxy getting under it. I'll really activate that, okay? And peel it back. There's a piece of glitter under there. There we go. It's the first one done. Oh, I can really see that. Love it. Let's go ahead with this one. There's glitter everywhere. It's a problem. On the S, there's like a little fold, so I'm just going to cut it and then lay it down flat. Rather than try to move that entire piece of vinyl. There we go. Just so there's no wrinkle. And it's the last one. So, last step is to put the final. I will spray them with the matte spray paint just to make sure that it doesn't, there's no repelling of the epoxy over the vinyl. And then I'll put the final coat and then I'll be back to peel off the backs. Okay, so here we are. All 6 tiles have been covered in epoxy and they're smooth. I personally, with this kind of thing, I like the edges to be a little bit irregular. They're epoxied, but they're not 100% smooth. They're kind of bumpy. I prefer that look. It kind of makes it look like almost like a piece of marble that's, you know, kind of rough on the edges. That's how I like it. I mean, you can obviously, if you want it super smooth, you can make sure that you know, really babysit your tiles and make sure you're scraping them every hour or whatever until the epoxy thickens up and doesn't drip anymore or whatever. I prefer it to be a little bit textured on the side. I just like the look that it has. And so this one, I've actually already removed the drips, so I'll show you. I just peeled. I didn't even have to use the hot knife. I just used my X-Acto knife, and in some places that it was really stuck, and then most of it I just peeled up and it came right off. So you can see there's a little bit of stains of epoxy, but I will hot glue that. Some felt. I'm going to do the backs of these in felt. Just because I'm at the moment out of cork, and that's what I'm going to use. Plug my hot glue gun in. Felt that I use is just from Hobby Lobby. It is the 33-cent 1mm felt, black felt for these ones. They have all of the colors. I just like the uniform look of black. I sometimes use 2mm too. It just depends on how I'm feeling on that day. So we can go ahead and get started. Let's start with this one back here, and I'll show you how I do one, and then I'll speed it up so you don't have to watch me peel all of these. So as you can see, it's got a bunch of little icicles on it, but it hasn't gone past the masking tape. So what I do is take the masking tape, peel, and if you put some pressure on it, you can see it peel back. You can see it start to lift. There you go. And if you just peel towards the inner, it won't rip your seal on your epoxy. If you peel it that way, if you peel it out like a piece of tape or something, it's gonna rip that epoxy right there. But if you just stand it up and then you pull in, it won't tear. And then I've got, there's the dripping epoxy. And I don't force it. If it doesn't want to stand up, then I'll just leave it there, and I'll come through with my nail and just peel it up, pull it off. That one right there is stuck, so just kind of lift it up. See right there? And then I just peel it off. It's actually pretty easy to get it to come up. That one's stuck pretty good, so just going to take my X-Acto knife and lift it. There it goes. It's got a piece right there that I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife. There we go. There it is. The most thing I hate about this is masking tape sticking to your fingers. And there, oh, I missed one. There it goes. And there we go, we're all clean. So I will put this on fast forward while I do the rest so you don't have to watch in the slow-mo. Couple right here that are being real stubborn, and I can tell if I try to push them over it's gonna break my seal. So I'm gonna take my hot knife. Here it is. And I'm just going to ever so gently there we go. All done. The hot knife that I use is from Hobby Lobby. It's actually a wood burning tool too. Has all these different tips with it. But I keep this so I know what temperature to do. And that is it. We're all finished. Next is putting the felt on. So take my tile, my hot glue gun, and I do, a line like right there, and it's these are I pre-cut these. They're a little bit bigger than the tile. I'm gonna go ahead and trim them afterwards. Make sure that it's good and tight there, and then I peel it back and I go down a couple inches, down a couple inches, over. My glue gun is so old. Do like an X in the middle, and then I pull it tight, smooth it down. Same thing, to make sure at the end's really good. And hot glue is easy to trim, so I don't really worry about going over the edge too much. Then I just take my scissors and I do it like a 45-degree angle, and I cut away the excess. I do it from both sides. That way, if there's any texture or something that's keeping that from being smooth, there you go. Right there. This has been hot glued. There we go. And that is how it looks from the front. And that is the back. All done. And we will fast forward. To display them, please excuse my really nasty hands. I use these are $2 business card holders from Office Depot. Peel that sticker off, and then it just sits right in there. Pretty as a picture. So that's the purple one. That is the monochromatic one. I think it's my favorite, honestly. There is the fall colored one. This is the blue one. This is the beachy colored one. Let's see, it's the actually blue vinyl. Looks purple from up there. And then the red one. Pretty happy with how they came out. We'll see if my team likes them. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope that you maybe found some inspiration here. The tiles are actually like my #1 favorite thing to do. It's where I really started. It's what started me getting into the tumbler world. I did some name tiles for a client visit probably a little over a year ago, and it just kind of snowballed from there. People at work were asking me to make them stuff, and so I just kind of was watching tutorials on Cricut, and then I found a bunch of tumbler makers, and then I decided to try some of those tumbler techniques on tiles because that's what I love to do, because it's fun and it's easy for me. And that's just kind of how I got here. So I hope to have some different content for you guys, some different tutorials on tiles that I'm making. But if you liked it, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know, comment, and I will do my best to answer them. Thanks, guys. And go Heels.